Hey, this is Heidi Dawson. If you love all things health and wellness and style of any kind, hang out here with me each week. I'm obsessed with never-ending improvement, and it's all in an effort to help each one of us live a wildly successful lifestyle. Subscribe today so you don't miss a thing. Hi, guys. Welcome to the 52nd episode of the Wildly Successful Lifestyle Podcast. So forgiveness. That's kind of it's a big word, right? Why is it so hard? I don't ever think that I have all the answers, but I do have some life experience to speak to when it comes to this topic, as I'm sure you do as well. I don't think any of us have made it through our whole life without having to forgive or be forgiven. So why is it so hard sometimes to forgive? Well, for one thing, I can say because often we think that if we forgive someone, well, we're going to let them off the hook. Or maybe if we forgive them, then they'll think that it's okay and keep it up or do it again. Or maybe you just want to stay angry as a way to hurt that person that hurt you. Now, I talk about my personal life periodically on this podcast, and I've got a really blessed life. I do not have anything to complain about. But just like everyone, including you, I'm sure, I have experiences with people where sometimes I have to forgive or be forgiven. I was raised in a religion that was pretty strict, and there are good people in there. But some of those rules I did not agree with. Long story short, I'm no longer a part of it, and there are members of my family who are. One of them is my little sister. Now, for the record, I have two little sisters. One you hear me talk about a lot, that's Molly. We're super close. The other one, not so much. It isn't that I don't love her, but you see, for religious reasons, she's cut part of her family out of her life. She doesn't want her kids to be around people who don't believe the same things she does. Now, we've been a close family for, our whole life. So this is kind of a new thing that we are dealing with. And this has only happened in the last couple of years. But because the kids are getting to an age where they can start thinking for themselves, it kind of scares my sister. Now, I'm not creating this. We had a lunch where she basically told me all of this. Now, I don't have children and have been very close to my niece and nephew, whom I now have not been part of their life for almost 2 years. They're growing up, and I'm missing that. Now, I only tell you this story because for a little while, I was super angry, and I wanted her to feel the same pain I felt. I quickly realized that was not going to change anything. In fact, it was only hurting me, no one else. And I had to decide to let that seed of anger grow and use the situation to create drama with the other family, or recognize that the only thing I control in life is my thoughts about anything. And my thoughts were not good. They were turning into things like, I hope she gets the karma that's coming to her. It even got so bad I felt sort of happy when I heard something didn't go her way. This is not something I'm proud of, nor is it something that's true to my nature. I never wish harm on anyone. But because of my anger, I was kind of feeling justified to wish she wasn't happy. From the outside looking in, you're probably like, that was going nowhere good. And you would be right. But let's fast forward to today. The situation remains the same, but I feel neutral about it. So what does that mean? What does neutral mean? Well, it means I have a situation in my life that's hard and it's real, and I have zero control over that outcome. So I choose to look at it as it is, no worse, no better. I have family I don't see. Honestly, we would only see them 4 or 5 times a year anyway, so it wasn't a big change to my daily life. Now, I still feel pain and I sometimes still feel anger, but they're fleeting, and I definitely do not cultivate those feelings. You see, forgiving a person that has caused or is causing pain, it doesn't remove the pain. It simply softens the way you look at it, and it gives you back your power. You see, if you choose to remain in a state of anger or pain based on what someone else has done, then you give all your power to that person. If I did that with my sister, I would be giving power to someone who's not even in my life at all anymore. So I have chosen to empower myself and say, you know what, I decide how I feel. And I choose to recognize the pain and the anger I have in the moment, which is good. You need to recognize it. And sometimes I'll even talk about that feeling with someone I trust, like my husband or Molly, or, even if you want to talk to a doctor, a therapist about it, that can be helpful as well. But then don't dwell on it. I then do something that takes my mind off that, like exercise, writing a podcast, doing something that changes my state. So recognizing it, feeling it, acknowledging it, maybe talking about it if you need to, and I think that's an important part, and then doing something to change your state. When the situation can't change or you don't want it to change, then changing your thoughts about it is crucial. I don't want to be in a state of pain and anger because I no longer get to see my niece and nephew. And that isn't going to change anytime soon. So I have to change my focus in this case. And I have to come to terms with it because I refuse to give my power to be happy to anyone other than myself. So what does this mean for you? Well, so many of us have situations in life that are real and they're hard, and we have no control over them because they're part of our life. So you have to be aware of your feelings, acknowledge them, talk about it if you need to, and then do something to change your state. You're basically interrupting that pattern of thought that isn't going to serve you long term. Knowing this and doing this makes it where you're empowered and you take control of your thoughts rather than letting someone else control your thoughts, and by extension, control your life. So there's always going to be someone in our life that lets us down or hurts our feelings. I mean, that's part of being human. No one gets to escape that. The other part of being human, though, is we get to control how deeply we let someone else's actions affect us. Forgiveness is empowering. You take back control of your life. The only person that actually controls you is you. The only person that actually controls your thoughts and your feelings is you. Don't give your power away. You are worth way more than that, and one of my missions is to make sure you never forget it. I love you guys, and we'll talk to you in a few days. Don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends because we're just going to keep going bigger and better places together, and I love that about us. Talk to you in a few days.